Telltale's The Walking Dead final season, episode 1, it turns out that most so-called game reviews didn't do their job right for this one, considering it's one of the most important games for the fans. But we're not gonna throw shade or blame them. Obviously, they got more stuff to do, so leave it to the professionals. That's why we're here. We here at SmackNPie were extremely disappointed when we saw the game reviews, let's players, etc. didn't appreciate this episode. It got most of the stuff right, something season 3 was lacking, but hey, that's why we're here, right? Anyway, strap in, because you're coming along for Telltale's The Walking Dead final season, episode 1, real and honest review. Let's get started. Hey guys, I'm Nicole, the narrator from SmackNPie, and you're watching The Guy Gaming Show, which is run and is owned by Smack. Alright, so the first thing that we're going to start with is that there are 4 episodes only, which lead us to 2 or more hours per episode, which is good. I honestly have no problems with it. Go for 3 hours, we don't care. We just love Walking Dead. Anyways, firstly, let's go to our good friends IGN and see what they think about this. Oh my god, 6.5 out of 10? Really? Well, maybe they got something that we didn't see. Let's see what they have to say. The middle act of this 2-hour episode is bogged down by numerous repetitive and drawn-out interactions. Extended conversation sequences provide necessary exposition detailing the backstory of the kids in the school, but often meander needlessly and deliver repeated information, even in cases where gameplay elements like fishing or playing cards add activity to the dialogue-driven gameplay. These interactions often serve as speed bumps and slow the momentum of the story in a way that becomes frustrating. It's the combination of this oversized info dump and the obligation to check in with a needless surplus of characters that becomes the biggest detracting factor. Excuse me, what? Are you actually saying that a final season, Clementine's final story, and the episode is bogged down by drawn-out interactions and needless extended conversation sequences? Wow. Allow me to correct you, Mr. Whoever wrote this on IGN. It's called character introduction, something that is purely necessary, something that most games lack, especially season 3. Just going all in is not the right option, especially for episode 1, and especially for a final season. You know for a fact that these set of characters and environment are the last, so leaving long-lasting impressions of each character, leaving topics for discussion, making us all invested in characters with a set of who's actually annoying and who's frustrated. Correct us if we're wrong. We haven't seen anyone who played this episode get frustrated by a Lewis or a Violet conversation. These were the only ones so-called drawn-out interactions and so-called extended conversations. We and players don't see any problems to that. Plus, this is Telltale. It's not your usual AAA games where it's all about action and gameplay. Companies that are just there for cash grab and don't even invest in a proper smooth story. Telltale, on the other side, is there for stories, showing more than just gameplay, making players invested in characters, relating to them. And finally, they added, okay, meandering conversations and exposition make this first episode a slow, dull build. As much as we respect other people's opinion, and you should as well, when it comes to reviewing something, you're not there for yourself. You're there because of a community, looking from there and from the game and its story perspective. You can't just come in and say, I like Fortnite, that's why these story games don't make me feel invested that much. IGN and any other company has the full rights to do whatever they want. However, and we're gonna take this statement from PewDiePie, that usually we look at critics for movie reviews because they see it with a different perspective and a different eye. But when it comes to video games, we tend to hear more a player-by-player review instead of these so-called critics because they just get too biased with their own stuff. Now, let's go and see their comments and then we'll review it our way. Creel said, where did you plagiarize this review? It's all wrong. The opening episode is a strong one, an easy 8. Introduction very well to new mechanics and new challenges. Is a strong introductory episode 1. If it could keep up like this, I don't know. Tell you this, on this episode happens more than on the last 3 seasons of the TV's The Walking Dead. Trunkdo5 said, first of all, what is with that username? What a place IGN is in right now. If their reviews aren't plagiarized, they are complete and utter bullcrap. I don't know if we're missing the mark or something. This is Telltale we're talking about. The first episode was solid. Not a single moment where I felt that it stretched out or something like, I just players want this done right now. Season 3 was full of that. It nicely sets up the pace, character introduction, and welcoming new features in the game. The most important thing was pacing. Everything was paced so good. Now there are some downs that we have to give, such as this time it was one ending, even though there were 2 endings. But look at the Batman series. If there's someone that talks crap about Telltale not caring about choices, just show them Batman Season 2. Anyways, there was this thing of important choices not being important in Season 3. That was really a letdown. It's somewhat similar here as well, but again, this is episode 1, so people shouldn't expect everything to go down in episode 1. All we're gonna say is that Telltale did a fantastic job for pacing, character introduction, relations, a bit improved gameplay, and they learned a lot from Season 3, so we're just happy for that. Also, the fact that the community is talking about whether to go with Lewis or Violet shows they did their thing right. Making players talk about and choose stuff after a game's release shows that you did something right. But in Season 3, I'm sure most of us were like, I don't care, whatever. Killing Marlon and Brody in episode 1, adding AJ as a cliffhanger to the end, setting up for Violet and Lewis for episode 2, shows this episode was a solid start. But then again, as much as this episode had good stuff, it had some downs as well. Remember, nothing is perfect. So Smack's gonna give it 8 out of 10 and 8.5 out of 10 for a solid start. Let us know if you want us to review other things as well. We can go full time with this. Also, don't think that we're throwing shade at IGN or A1. We respect and love you all. Anyways, what are your reviews for episode 1? What rating would you give this episode? Do you think it was a slow start? Maybe you think they could have done better? Let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, if you enjoyed today's video, why don't you go ahead and hit that like button? And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I'm Nicole, and until next time, take care and keep gaming.